Okay, so your business is getting traction and maybe you're at the $3,000 to $7,000 a month range recurring revenue and you want to actually grow your business this year to six figures or maybe multiple six figures. Here's a really important truth that rarely anyone talks about. There's only three things that you actually need to actually hit scale in your business. And more importantly, these are three things you're going to come back to over and over again once you hit six figures and you want to reach multiple six or even seven figures. And today I'm going to unpack them with you so that you know exactly what your next 5 business moves need to be this year. What's up, familia? I brought the iPad because we're going to do a little bit of whiteboard brainstorming together to really figure out exactly what you need to be working on. Because here's the thing, there is a ton of strategies that pull at us in every different direction. You might be wondering like, okay, do I need to explode my Instagram? Do I need to just blow up on TikTok? Do I need to blow up on YouTube or grow with an email list? When it comes to building online businesses and doing it consistently, it's 3 core things that make the biggest difference. So let's go over to the iPad and get started. Number 1, the first thing that every single business needs is visibility, right? You might be tempted to think this is kind of basic, Kim, but yes, it is very important, even though it's basic. Visibility is all about getting people's eyeballs on your stuff, right? Getting more people to see your content, getting more people to interact with your lead magnets, getting more people to actually buy your stuff. Visibility is so important because it helps to expand your market reach. It helps you to get, a lot of authority, and also it's necessary if you actually want to do the next 2 things. So, number 2 is lead generation, right? Business thrives or dies based on its lead generation. And number 3, really important, of course, sales. Now, before you think, okay, Kim, like this sounds super ultra basic. Sure, it might, but the reality is when you're planning your next 5 business moves, you need to be focused on how are you going to attach those to one of these 3s. Why? Because these 3 levers are the only way in which you can actually grow your business, especially if you're growing a business online like who we talked to on this channel. Now, when we're looking at these 3 levers, I want you to really just do a little bit of self-analysis and figure out, okay, which of these am I the weakest on, right? So maybe hey, I need to build my traffic this year. I really need to explode my visibility, or I need to build my audience. I really just need more people to be aware of what I do. When it comes to lead generation, in online business terms, we're talking about email or we're talking about SMS, right? That's how you actually build relationship with people. They find your content online, they find your YouTube channel, they find your podcast, they find your website, and then you actually want to change the relationship with them. You want to turn them into email leads and subscribers or text subscribers so that you can keep in touch, build the relationship, have them see more content pieces so that you build the authority, and then, of course, slam dunk the pitch and get them to buy your programs, products, or services. Now, the thing that a lot of people miss in the online space is building an email list. It's like, guys, we gotta be doing this. Sure, you can absolutely build visibility right up here at the audience size. Let's go right here. And most people do a lot of this. This is the shiny, right? The sexy stuff that everyone wants to do with hacking the algorithm and going viral. And all those things are all well and good. But if you're not actually capturing emails or text messages, and more importantly, if you're not attracting the right person and changing that relationship, you're dead in the water, because you're going to have to depend on this consistently all the time, growing to generate more leads and sales. Now, what's really interesting about this, as I go back here and clean it up a little bit for you guys, is that only about 10% in any given niche, right? About 10% of the people who find your stuff at the top, right? Visibility, are actually ready to buy it right now. 10%. That's not a lot, but it's something, and it's important. It's an important something. The majority of people need multiple touch points. They need to like you. They need to trust you. They need to get engaged with you. They need to actually be in your world before they actually pull out the credit card and buy your coaching, your course, your membership, your digital products. So because of that, we want to build an email list. And so a lot of times we will neglect the email building of things, but we don't want to just build the email list. Yes, the email list is important. That is super important for us to be able to make more offers and pitch more consistently and grow our sales. But we also want to keep putting people in the bucket, right? Expanding our reach, expanding our visibility. And the last one is, of course, sales. And so if you're totally good here on the lead gen and you have a good amount of traffic and maybe you've built it through things like SEO, which are my favorite because it's a gift that keeps on giving. People discover you without you having to do a ton of hustle. Then we want to talk about sales, right? Why are people not buying? Why are they not converting into paying clients or paying customers? And that is another way in which you can strengthen your sales process, right? Like really look at and be really strategic with your time and your energy, because your time and your energy is priceless. You can't get it back, right? You can definitely make more money anytime, but you can't get your time back. And so it's so important that you're laser focused on, okay, what is it that I'm going to achieve? What is it that I want to actually create this year? I want to show you how this connects to what we call the online sales funnel, right? And so a lot of you guys are familiar with this. Top of the funnel would be, right, your traffic, maybe your SEO, maybe some of the social media here, and that is visibility. Now, what we want to do is we want to think about how, if we know that this is our weak point, how can we actually build our visibility? And there's tons of ways in which you could do that. Some are long term, right? So these are things like building up your long form content so that you can actually rank with SEO. It usually takes 3 to 6 months. And so that's a really awesome way of building in content systems so people are discovering you consistently, right? So you're not having to put out new videos. Let me tell you this. I can stop putting videos out on YouTube for years if I need to, and people will still find me, they will still join my email list, and they will still buy my products because I have built an actual content sales system that keeps people discovering me through SEO and through the power of YouTube recommended videos. And that's a really awesome thing, but it takes time, right? So that's the long-term kind of strategy. And you don't have to do YouTube. You could do a blog in SEO. You could do a podcast that you also publish on YouTube. You could do a podcast that you publish on your blog, and then you optimize that for SEO. Tons of different strategies, tons of different ways. If you're a part of the Business Lounge membership, you know we teach all of those things, all those strategies in there. So the next thing, so let's actually write that down, right? We could do long form content, which is my favorite, and SEO. So optimize that, get a ton of visibility that way. Now, what is a short, like quick, easy thing that you can do to build your visibility? Of course, that would have to be my good old friend ads. I love ads, especially on Facebook and on Instagram. They're fantastic. YouTube also has great ads. X is coming out with an amazing platform for ads. Pinterest, I don't care where you do it. That's a good way of getting short term, but you have to decide on this one, right? Like, do you have more money that requires money, or do you have versus time? If you have more time than you have money, listen, go with this route, right? And if you have more money than you have time, then use ads. Ideally, you would be doing a combination of both. And then the third one, and this one is actually a short-term one too, is OPA method. My TBLers will know what that is. Stands for other people's audiences. And this is where you can go on a media run, right? And like pitch yourself to a bunch of podcasts or YouTube channels and get in front of other people's audiences, add value, get seen. That's a little hack, something that you could do quickly, but remember, it's going to take some hustle. And so it's not necessarily a great long-term strategy. You want to have both, so you could have a quick cash injection, but also grow your business and do it consistently, even if you don't have the time to be on interviews every week. You know what I'm saying? So you want to do both. Now let's talk about lead generation. What are some things that you could do with lead gen? And of course, we're talking here about lead magnets, right? And so this is your middle of the funnel, and your lead gen goes on this side. And excuse my chicken scratches, guys. It's a ton. So of course, a short-term thing you could do is run ads. This is something we recommend for almost all of our clients, especially because you don't need a huge budget. You could have a $5 ad working behind the scenes, growing your email list, growing your text list consistently, and it's just going in the background. It's an amazing way of growing your list, but it's not the only way. Of course, the things that you're doing in the visibility side, right, in this step up here, should be growing your lead generation. So you could do things like, hey, I'm going to have a lead magnet and I'm going to optimize it to be really specific. So every time someone lands on my content, they subscribe, right? And so that is something that we want to do for sure, is making sure that you have really dialed in lead magnets, that they're specific enough, that you have great converting landing pages on your lead magnets. Did you know that the average landing page converts at about 10% when it comes to lead magnets? Like, that is a horrible conversion rate. You want to be at least 70%. Well, maybe not at least, but ideally 70% conversion rate on your lead magnets. Average conversion would be like 3 to 40%. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. And so you really want to be thinking about, okay, how do I optimize my lead magnets to attract my ideal person? And how do I make sure that I'm promoting it through my content and the things that I'm doing? So for example, these kind of videos, I could have a call to action and say, listen, and I'm gonna do it right now so you can see it in real time. I could say, hey, and this is a real one. So listen up. If you're an online business owner and you already have traction in your business, so you're making $3,000 to like $7,000 a month, and you actually want to scale to 6 figures through content, you have to check out a new masterclass that Chris and I put together. It's totally free. It's going to show you how we use our content to customers system to scale out your business to multiple 6 figures, or maybe just 6 figures and then multiple 6 figures and beyond later on. The link is going to be in the description box below. See, that's a call to action. That's how you could use your content to build your email list and, of course, sell people on the thing that you do. So the next step, and maybe this is like the third thing that you could do to grow your leads, is to do JV partnerships, right? So this falls into that OPA method that we talked about at the beginning, but it's a little bit more specific. And so this is maybe where you do a webinar or a workshop or a class with someone else who's maybe a couple steps ahead of you in their online business, right? So they have a bigger audience, a bigger list. You could also do this at scale with something like a summit. A lot of people used to do that. They were very popular, still good. They still work. And it's still something we encourage. So that's where you get a bunch of people, a bunch of speakers to come into a live event. And then essentially you share, right, a specific email list with all the speakers who are coming in. They're promoting it to their audience. And so you're growing your list and potentially selling something during the event. It's actually super cool and a really great hack, quote unquote. I don't like using that word because it's just a little lame in our philosophy, our book, but it is a shortcut and it's really cool. Okay, finally, let's talk about sales, right? So what can we do here at the bottom of the funnel if we need to boost our sales? So really important. Number one, you want to make sure that you have a great sales mechanism. Okay, so there's a ton of ways in which you can sell. So you could sell through a VSL, right? A video sales letter. You could sell via a long form, traditional text only sales letter. You could sell through a webinar or a free class, a paid class, an in-person class. There's a ton of things. Of course, if you're doing this online and you want to scale it out, probably the in-person one, not necessarily the thing I would recommend, but you could do a live class instead, right? And so there's a lot of different mechanisms that you want to select in order to sell more of your stuff. And tweaking this is really important. And that kind of leads me to the next one. And that is really assuring your messaging, right? So messaging is super important. There's about 3 things that people need to be sold on before they buy your thing, right? That's maybe your course, your membership, your services, your coaching. Number 1, they need to be sold on you. They need to like you. They need to trust you. They need to feel like, okay, she understands like where I'm at and she can actually solve my problems, right? That's authority. 2, they need to be sold on your process, on your unique way of taking someone from the state that they're in and then give or deliver them an amazing transformation, right? It's the before or the after stage. You have to present a unique mechanism, a process, the thing that is your secret sauce. They need to be sold on that. And number 3, they need to be sold on your offer. The offer needs to make sense for where they're at, who they're at, what budget they're in. All of that is really important. If you get those 3 things, you're going to increase your sales. And so messaging is a huge part of that. The way you talk to someone, how you package and position your offer, how you actually communicate to your ideal audience, and the way in which you use certain behavioral triggers to make the messaging come together is huge. I'll tell you, in our coaching programs, we spent 3 months creating a messaging map, and it was so amazing. It transformed people's lives. One of our clients actually got a $10,000, nailed a $10,000 contract shortly after she completed the messaging map and implemented it into her website. And that was an amazing success story, because messaging is everything, especially nowadays where people are so sensitive. Everything that you say and do is portraying messaging. It's messaging, right? And so even the way that you talk on your content, on your stories, the way that you write your emails, all of that needs to be very specific and dialed into your core ideal audience. All right, and then one more thing that we could do to boost our sales, and that is to understand how to make more offers. I think this is the number one thing, guys, that I see, especially women. That's our niche, right? Love working with women. We have a really hard time getting our girls to make offers consistently. And that's because we tend to associate selling with really putting ourselves out there, number 1. Number 2, there's potential rejection, which is inevitable in business. And number 3, it can be icky and not the most fun thing to do. And especially because we have a nurturing spirit. We want to help people, and we're comfortable with content. We're good with marketing, but we're not really good with selling. And if we don't sell, we don't have a business. So we got to get good at selling. We have to get good at selling in our own unique way, in a way that makes us feel comfortable and is authentic. But if you just do this one thing, just offer people the chance to work with you more often, you're going to see a boost in your sales if you have a great sales mechanism and you have your messaging dialed in. So this is 3 ways in which you can boost your sales, boost your lead gen, and boost your visibility. I hope that it was helpful. Listen, these are the things that are going to make the biggest difference to your bottom line. So as you're planning your next 5 business moves, I'd love to hear in the comments, what is one key takeaway that you've taken from this video that you're going to implement right now? Literally today, you're going to get to work on one of these ideas, one of these strategies. And of course, make sure to check out our Profit Masterclass. I'd love to show those of you who already have some traction. Again, if you're in the $3,000 to $7,000 a month range in your online business and you want to scale up through content, you have to check out that class. We're going to show you our entire content to customers system with a lot of the things that we unpacked today, but more detailed, more specific for your particular business. It's a free class. The link's going to be below this video, and I'd love to see you there. And of course, if you haven't yet watched some of our videos on how to actually plan your business, how to turn your goals into a business plan, I'm going to leave a video up here so you can check it out. It's called Quarterly Rocks. It's by my business partner and husband, Chris. He is the master at operations, setting goals, making sure our organization is running the way it needs to be. And he pioneered this entire process through the help of one of his mentors, and you should absolutely check it out. It's going to help you actually work on these things every single day and make sure that your to-dos are aligned with the goals that you're setting in your business. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Un beso. Bye for now.